The sky was burning. Ray Carter's shuttle tore through the clouds of the alien planet like a dying bird. Sparks flew from the broken wings. The control panel screamed with warnings. Oxygen system damaged. Life support critical. Surface impact in 30 seconds. Ray could hardly hear. His ears were ringing. His hands shook as he tried to control the crash, but it was useless. The engines were dead. The only thing he could do now was survive the fall. The shuttle hit the ground with a thunderous crash. Everything went black. When Ray opened his eyes, the world was quiet, too quiet. A thick greenish fog covered everything outside the cracked window of the shuttle. Small fires burned around the crash site. His head hurt. His arm was bleeding. He checked. His wrist, his biofilter was still working. Barely. The screen blinked. Biofilter level. 29% toxicity outside. Extreme time left, 2 hours 43 minutes. Great, he whispered. I'm on a death planet with less than 3 hours to live. Ray stood up slowly. Every muscle in his body ached. He grabbed his emergency pack. Oxygen capsules, a med kit, flare gun, small scanner, and a knife. His comms were broken. No signal, no help. No hope. He stepped outside the wreck. The ground was soft and cracked. Purple plants grew in twisted shapes. The air had a strange smell, like metal and rot. He felt his suit tighten as it worked to keep the toxins out. A buzzing sound caught his attention. He turned on his scanner. Unknown signal detected. Distance, 800 meters, he frowned. Could be another survivor, he said to himself. Or something worse. Ray had two choices: stay near the shuttle and wait for help that might never come, or move toward the signal and hope for something. Anything. He chose to move. As Ray walked through the fog, the silence became heavier. Every step echoed. His scanner beeped quietly in his hand, guiding him like a weak heartbeat. He passed the wreck of another ship, not human, burnt metal, alien symbols. The ground was scorched, as if a battle had happened recently. Then he saw it. A large trail of blood, dark blue and thick, led from the alien wreck toward the hills. There were deep footprints. Something or someone had survived. The signal grew stronger. Ray followed. Suddenly he heard a sound, not human. A low growling noise. Like pain. He crouched low behind a rock. There, in the clearing, was a massive shape. A creature. Nearly 9 feet tall, armor cracked, weapon broken. Bleeding heavily. One arm was missing. The alien tried to stand but collapsed again, groaning in pain. Ray's heart pounded. The creature looked dangerous, like a warrior, sharp claws, glowing, red eyes, but it was dying. His hand went to his knife. He could walk away, save his own oxygen, but something stopped him. The alien looked at him, not with hate, not with fear, but with confusion, and maybe even hope. Ray took one small step forward. The alien raised a broken weapon, aiming weakly. I'm not your enemy, Ray said, hands up. I don't want to fight. The alien's hand shook. The weapon dropped. Ray slowly walked over. The scanner beeped wildly. The alien's life signs were failing. He opened his medkit and tried to scan the creature's body. He didn't understand the biology. Nothing made sense. Still, he tried. Time passed. The fog thickened. Ray's biofilter dropped to 21%. He gave the alien painkillers, sealed some wounds, and stopped the bleeding, at least for now. The alien breathed slowly, eyes half closed. Then it spoke. One word. Broken, deep voice. Why? Ray paused. He looked up at the gray sky, then at his own bloody hands. I don't know, he said. I guess, because you're alive. And that's enough. The alien stared at him for a long moment, then pointed weakly into the distance. Safe, there. Ray followed the direction. A hill, maybe a cave, or a hidden base? Then the alien whispered one more word. Run. Ray turned around. From behind the rocks, strange shadows moved. Silent, fast. Watching he helped the alien stand. One arm over his shoulder. All right, he said, breathing hard. Let's run. As they moved through the fog, Ray checked his wrist again. Biofilter. 19% and counting down. Asterisk. The fog moved like it was alive, thick, silent, watching Ray. Carter couldn't see more than a few feet ahead, but he kept walking. The alien warrior, heavy, wounded, nearly twice Ray's size, leaned on his shoulder with every step. Each breath the alien took sounded like metal scraping glass. Ray's legs were shaking. His biofilter blinked red. Bio-filter, 17%, still. Falling, but he couldn't stop now. Not after what he saw back there, those shadows. Something was following them. Something fast. And quiet. The alien had whispered only one word. Run. That was enough. They moved between twisted trees and glowing plants. The air was thick, not just with poison, but with tension, rays. Scanner was silent now. The signal that led him here had vanished, or worse. It had changed. He stopped. Hey, Ray whispered, turning to the alien. You said there's a safe place. Where? The alien didn't speak. His eyes were half closed. He was losing strength. Fast. Ray cursed under his breath. Then the alien raised one shaking arm, pointed forward, up a rocky path. A faint orange light flickered far away, behind the fog. A structure? A cave? Ray didn't know, but he had no choice. His own body was reaching its limit. Halfway up the path, the fog suddenly shifted. The world went silent. Too silent. No wind, no birds, no insects. Just nothing. Ray froze. Behind them, the fog rippled like something had moved inside it, slowly. Silently, he turned. He saw nothing, but he felt it. Something was hunting them. He raised the flare gun, his last defense. Come on, he whispered. Show yourself. No answer. Then suddenly, a screech. Not from one creature. From many, shapes rushed in the mist. Dark, tall, fast. Ray fired the flare. For 1 second, the fog lit up. He saw them, black-skinned. No eyes, long limbs, crawling on walls. Teeth like broken glass. And they were close. Move! Ray shouted. He pulled the alien forward. The hill was steep. Every step was pain. Ray's lungs burned. His arms ached. His thoughts blurred. But he didn't stop. Because behind them came the monsters. Screaming. Crawling. Getting closer. Then a hum. A deep, powerful sound. As they reached the top of the hill, the fog parted just slightly, revealing a door. Round, metal, half buried in stone. Alien symbols pulsed on its surface. The alien warrior raised his hand, placed it on the door. A blue light scanned his body. The door clicked. Ray turned as one of the shadow. Beasts lunged from the fog behind them. Too fast. Too close. But then a blast of light exploded from the door. The beast screamed and vanished in a burst of dust. The door opened. Ray dragged the alien inside. The door slammed shut. Behind them, sealing out the fog, the monsters, the death. Inside, there was silence. Cool, clean air. Strange glowing walls. Alien tech humming in the background. Ray collapsed to his knees. Biofilter. 12%. He had bought a little time. But not much. He looked at the alien warrior lying beside him, still breathing. Barely. Then, to Ray's surprise, the alien opened one eye. You. Not soldier, the alien said, voice broken and deep. No, Ray replied. Engineer. Then, why save me? Ray looked at him, tired, bleeding, dying, yet still asking that question. I don't know, Ray said quietly. Maybe because someone has to care. The alien blinked slowly, then gave a strange, small nod. My name, he began. Corral. Ray. repeated the word. Corral. It sounded strong, like thunder in a storm, but before Ray could ask more, Corral passed out again, and Ray was alone. In a place he didn't understand, running out of air. But something told him this was only the beginning. Silence. For the first time in hours, Ray Carter didn't hear the wind, the fog, or the creatures chasing them, only the sound of his own breath. Shallow, fast, heavy. And the soft hum of alien machines around him. He sat on the cold metal floor of the underground chamber. Walls glowed with strange, shifting lights, symbols that moved like water. The air here was clean, breathable. But not forever. His biofilter showed, biofilter, 10% system status, stable, temporary. He had minutes. Maybe less. Ray looked over at the alien. Corral. The warrior lay still, armor torn, one arm missing, blood slowly leaking from his side, breathing rough, but alive. Somehow. Ray stood up, legs weak, and walked to the center of the room. There was a console, smooth, dark metal, no buttons, just light. He waved his hand, nothing. Then he tried again, slowly this time, copying what Corral had done outside. The symbols glowed. The console came alive. A hologram appeared, spinning images of planets, ships, battles. Alien writing filled the air. Ray couldn't read it, but the message was clear. War. He turned back to Corral. Who are you? Ray whispered. And why were you out there alone? As if hearing him, the alien opened one eye, red, dim. You. Help me, Corral said, voice rough like gravel. Why? Ray gave a tired laugh. Still asking that? Corral, slowly, sat up, groaning in pain. He looked at Ray with sharp eyes, studying him, judging him. You're not soldier, he said. I'm not. You're not killer. I try not to be. Corral paused, then nodded slightly. You're rare. Ray walked closer, sat down beside him. You gonna tell me what's going on? He asked. Corral looked at the ceiling for a moment, then spoke. My people, we are called Rokari. We fight a war against the Empire of Ash. They conquer, destroy, burn planets. Ray listened, eyes wide. Earth, Corral said slowly, is next. Ray froze. What? Corral nodded. They come soon. Your planet does not know. Not ready. Ray's heart raced. That's why you were here, he asked. To warn us? Corral didn't answer. Instead, he reached into his armor, pulled out a small device, a metal cube with glowing edges. It pulsed slowly in his hand. This contains data, proof, location of Empire fleet, weak points, codes. Ray leaned in. And you were going to bring that to us? Corral looked away. No, was going to destroy it. My mission, suicide. Ray blinked. Wait, what? Corral looked at him, face calm. Empire tracks this. If they find it, all is lost. So I run, hide, die with it. Ray stared at the cube. It wasn't just data. It was a chance. A chance to stop a war before it reached home. He looked down at his bio-filter. Bio-filter. 7%. He looked back at Corral. You have to send that data. Earth needs it. Corral shook his head. Comes. Broken. Power low. No signal strong enough, Ray thought. His mind was spinning. There had to be a way. There's a comms booster in my pack, he said. Not strong alone, but maybe. With this tech, he paused, looked around. These walls. This whole place. It's like a signal station, right? Corral's eyes narrowed. He looked around slowly, then nodded. Old base. Forgotten. Maybe. Yes. Ray stood up, full of sudden energy. We fix the signal. We send the message. Corral coughed. Blood on his lip. Too late, you. Dying. Ray ignored him. He walked to the console, opened his pack, pulled wires, tools, parts. I'm not dying yet, he said. As he worked, Carol watched him, a human, weak, no training, no armor. But still fighting, still trying. No Rukari would have done this for a stranger. And yet, this man was doing it. Carol closed his eyes. Maybe, he whispered, you are not so weak. Behind them, the console flickered. Ray smiled. The pieces were connecting. The system was waking up. If he could just power the signal. He checked the battery level. His filter had 5% left. That was just enough power. He looked at Carol. Can this place charge that cube? Carol nodded. Ray took a deep breath, then made a decision. He pulled the filter from his chest. Carol shouted, "No!" Too late. Ray plugged the filter's battery into the console. The lights flared. The signal activated. The data cube began to upload. Ray fell to one knee, gasping, but he smiled. "We did it," he whispered. "Enemy or not, we did it." Then he collapsed. Ray Carter couldn't move. His body felt cold, heavy, distant. Somewhere in the dark, alarms were ringing. Lights flashing red. A voice echoed in an alien language. He couldn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. Danger. Immediate evacuation required. He was slipping away. Then a jolt hit his chest, sharp, electric. His eyes snapped open. Carol stood over him, holding a strange needle-like device. His face looked grim, focused. "You gave your air," Carol said. "But you are not done." Ray gasped, coughing. He felt fire in his lungs. He was alive. Barely. Around them, the old alien base shook. The signal they had sent had been received, but not just by allies. Carol looked at the console. The Empire. They heard it too. Ray sat up, holding his ribs. "Of course they did," he said. "Nothing ever goes quiet." On the screen, a blinking symbol showed incoming ships. 3 dots. Growing closer. Fast. Carol grabbed the cube and placed it in a small metal pod, a drone launcher. He pressed something on the side. The drone blinked, beeped, and shot out of a launch tube straight into the sky. "Data is safe now," he said. "Now we survive." Ray didn't laugh. He just stood. Outside, the storm had returned. The exit door opened with a low groan. Fog poured in like a living thing. Ray and Carol stepped into the toxic world again. The fog was thicker now, glowing purple and green. Lightning cracked above them. Strange winds blew sideways. Ray coughed hard. The emergency stim in his veins was wearing off. "I can't breathe," he said. Carol handed him something. A small alien mask with soft filters inside. It wasn't perfect, but it would slow the poison. Ray put it on. "I still hate this planet," he muttered. Carol gave a small smile. "Welcome to the death zone." They moved quickly, downhill from the signal base. Every rock seemed sharp. Every sound was a threat. Then came the screech. Not from above. From below. The ground moved. Ray stumbled. What now? From the cracks in the land, long black arms reached up. The same creatures from the fog, only now there were more. Dozens. Worse. They had evolved. Some now had wings. Others had sharp, glowing spines. The fog had changed them. Carol raised his weapon, half charged. Humming low, "Run," said. Ray didn't argue. They ran through the death fog. Between giant broken stones and dead alien machines. The creatures followed, crawling over walls, leaping across gaps, screaming without mouths. Ray slipped, rolled down a slope, and landed hard near a glowing river. Not water, some kind of energy. The creatures didn't cross it. Carol landed beside him. "They fear the current," he said. "We use it." Ray looked across. The river was fast, wide, and had no bridge. "You sure we can cross that?" "No, but staying here is worse." Behind them, the creatures gathered. Waiting. Watching. Carol grabbed Ray's arm. "Jump." They leapt. Electric fire burned their skin. The current pulled Ray under for a second. It felt like swimming through pain. But then, air. Cold, clean. They had made it across. The creatures hissed on the other side, but didn't follow. Ray collapsed. Panting. I really hate this planet, he said again. Corral didn't respond. He was looking up. So was Ray. In the clouds above. Shapes were falling. Black ships, sleek, silent. Deadly. Empire dropcrafts. The enemy had arrived. Corral stood. Slowly, we are close, he said. One more ridge, then a ship hidden. Ray forced himself up. Tell me it flies. Corral didn't answer. Ray groaned. I miss Earth. Together they ran again. Not from monsters this time, but from soldiers who would kill them both if they found out what they had done. Behind them, the fog burned. The creatures screamed. Ahead of them, hope waited. Maybe. The storm had passed, but silence was worse. Ray Carter sat near the remains of an alien tree, its trunk half burned and glowing. The air here was still toxic, but his mask was holding, barely. He stared at the dark sky above, where 3 Empire ships had vanished into the clouds. They were searching. Hunting. But for now, he and Corral had vanished into the cracks of the world. For now. Corral stood nearby, watching the horizon. He looked like stone, unmoving, powerful, silent. But Ray could feel the tension in him. Something was wrong. Corral hadn't spoken since the river. Ray broke the silence. You said a ship was nearby, he said. Corral nodded. It is. Then why stop? Corral didn't answer at first. Then, slowly he turned. There's something you need to know, he said. His voice had changed. Lower. Heavier. Ray stood. What is it? Corral stepped closer, eyes glowing faint red in the shadows. I lied to you, he said. Ray didn't move. But his heart did, hard. What kind of lie? He asked, trying to keep his voice calm. Corral looked up at the dark sky. The wind blew softly. My mission was not just about destroying the data, he said. It was about destroying me. Ray blinked. What? Corral sat down on a broken stone. His large hands rested on his knees. I am not just a warrior. I am a weapon. Ray narrowed his eyes. You mean, like a trained soldier? Corral shook his head slowly. No, not trained, designed. Ray stared. Corral's voice grew quiet. My blood is not natural. It carries code, a virus. The Empire made me as a tool to spread death among their enemies. Ray's stomach dropped. Wait, you're saying you're infected? Corral nodded. I was meant to be dropped into enemy strongholds. When I die, the virus releases. It kills every living thing nearby. Ray took a step back. You were a bomb. Yes, Corral said. Until I chose not to explode. Ray's mouth was dry. Then why help me? He asked. Why not let yourself die? Corral looked at him. You helped me first, he said. You saved me, knowing nothing. Gave your breath. Your power. For someone not even your kind. Ray didn't respond. His mind was racing. Corral continued. Before you, I thought all species were selfish, weak. But you changed that. So I changed my mission. He reached into his armor, pulled out a silver sphere, smooth, cold, humming softly. This is the trigger. I was supposed to activate it when captured. Ray looked at it. Small. Silent. Dudley. Corral held it out. Ray didn't touch it. I don't want that, he said. Corral nodded. Then placed it on the ground and crushed it under his boot. A long silence passed. Ray finally spoke. So what? Now, Corral looked up at the stars. We reach the ship. We leave this world, together, Ray asked. And after that? Corral's voice was calm. We stop the war, before it begins. Suddenly, a sharp sound, a ping from Ray's pack. The emergency beacon. The signal had bounced back. Wait, Ray said, checking it. There's another human signal. Corral stood quickly. Where? Ray pointed northwest. It's moving fast. Not Empire. Not alien. K-Ra-'s eyes narrowed. Then it's bait. Or a survivor, Ray said. Or a trap. Corral replied. Ray didn't care. He was already moving. Corral followed. The wind howled again. Louder now. The fog returned, glowing red this time. Ray didn't stop, because deep down, something had changed in him. He wasn't just running for survival anymore. He was fighting for something bigger than himself. And with Corral beside him, once a weapon, now a warrior with a choice. Ray knew this war wasn't just between humans and aliens anymore. It was between hope and extinction. Asterisk time was no longer moving forward. It was falling apart. Ray Carter stood inside the remains of an ancient outpost. The sky cracked open above him like shattered glass. Red lightning ripped through the clouds. From the air, black Empire ships were descending, silent, cold, like knives from the stars. The signal had been sent. The message was out, but the cost was coming. Fast. Corral worked at the terminal, fingers flying across alien controls. The data cube had launched safely, but now they had to survive long enough for it to matter. Ray coughed hard, falling to one knee. The alien mask was failing. Toxins were leaking in. His vision blurred. His biofilter had already been drained during the signal boost. Now even the emergency mask was flickering. He checked the panel on his wrist. Oxygen, 2% heart rate, unstable warning, organ failure. Iamionient. Didn't feel fear. He felt peace. Almost. K-Ra looked back. Your body is breaking, he said. Rest. Ray shook his head. No, tell me what to do. Corral paused, then handed him a small device, part of the power relay. Half fused, sparking. This is the only thing keeping the jammers offline. The Empire can't find the launch drone, not yet. Ray stared at it. How long can we keep it running? K-Ra looked out the cracked window. The ships were closer now. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5. Ray nodded. Then he said something K-Ra didn't expect. What if I take it outside? K-Ra turned. What? Ray stood, weak, shaking, but calm. If I take the relay outside, away from the EMP field, it might power stronger. It might boost the jamming signal. Corral's voice turned sharp. You will die. Ray smiled softly. Maybe. Silence, the kind that only comes before something irreversible. Then Ray asked, will it give the drone more time to escape? Corral nodded slowly. Yes. Ray took the device. They walked to the blast door together. Corral looked down at the human who had changed his view of everything. You have already given too much. Ray looked up at him. Then let me give the rest. Corral placed a hand on his shoulder, not as a soldier, but as a brother. Your name will not be forgotten. Ray gave a tired grin. Let's make sure they spell it right. The door opened. Ray stepped into the storm. The wind hit him like knives. The air was thick with poison. His eyes burned, but he walked forward, one step, then another dot and another dot until he reached the ridge. There, he planted the device in the ground. Sparks danced around it. A blue pulse spread through the sky like a ripple across water. The Empire ships hesitated. The jamming signal had surged. The drone had vanished into deep space. Safe. Ray fell to his knees. Breathing hurt now. Even thinking hurt. He looked up at the stars, thought of Earth, the blue sky, the sound of waves, the smell of real air. Then he closed his eyes and smiled. Inside the outpost, K-Ra saw the signal go silent. The relay had burned out, but the upload was complete. The message was gone. Delivered. The galaxy would know the truth. And it started with one human who gave everything. Hours later, when the Empire landed, they found only ruins and empty silence. Ray Carter was gone, But they never found the drone. Never found the data, and never understood why a dying man walked into a storm. Just to buy a few more minutes, but the galaxy would know and remember. The galaxy did not change in a single moment, not with an explosion. Not with a war. It changed quietly, with a signal, a message. Carved in pain, delivered in fire, and powered by a dying man's final breath, the data burst from the edge of a dead world. It traveled faster than light, bouncing between rebel satellites, stolen relays, and forgotten war probes. In less than 1 day, it reached the resistance. In 3 days, it reached Earth. In a week, the entire galaxy had seen it. A voice spoke across the stars. Not in power, not in anger, but in warning and in hope. My name is Ray Carter. I was an engineer, not a soldier. But I saw what's coming, and I couldn't look away. Kral stood inside a rebel command center, his armor repaired, but his eyes still tired. On the screen behind him, Ray's final message played on loop. People watched in silence. Humans, Rakari, other species too. All of them listening to a voice that no longer lived, a voice that carried truth like a flame in darkness. The data Ray had sent changed everything. It exposed the Empire's secret plans, their war maps, their hidden fleets, their weaknesses. It proved their crimes, not just against one world, but against hundreds. Worlds that had once stayed silent now began to rise. But the most powerful part of the message wasn't the intel. It was the choice. A human, unknown, ordinary, giving up his final breath to save someone not even from his own kind. Kral remembered every moment. The toxic fog. The river of light, the screeching shadows, the slow, quiet death of a man who never gave up, and the final words Ray had spoken. Tell them I wasn't brave. I was just tired of seeing good people die. Years passed. The war didn't end overnight, but it began to turn. And on the day peace was finally signed between former enemies, Kral returned to Earth. He stood in a quiet field where the wind moved slow and the sky was the color of calm. There, in the center of the field, was a statue. Not tall, not made of gold, just stone. A man in a torn suit. One hand reaching out. The plaque read, Ray Carter. He gave his last breath for someone he didn't even know. Kral placed his hand on the stone. I knew you, he said softly. In the end, I did. The camera would pull back here, in your video. The audience silent, feeling it. No music. Just wind. And maybe one last line on screen. Sometimes, it only takes one breath to save 1,000 lives.